Hi, folks. Welcome back to Curtis Goes Corner. I don't normally do this where I'll promote a YouTube video. Normally, I report on media, mostly politics, and some stories that are out there. But I came across this video from the Daily Wire. Now, whether you like Ben Shapiro or you don't, you can't argue what this gentleman is saying. You can stop the video here and read the story on it. And they are promoting themselves, and he even says so. They're promoting the Daily Wire, and you're going to see why if you listen to the video. I can't play it because there'll be a copyright problem. As it turns out, MSNBC and CNN have put the Russians to shame when it comes to this whole interfering in U.S. elections thing. Daily Wire God King, they call him that for a joke, it's funny. Jeremy Boring explains how legacy media outlets rigged the 2020 presidential election in favor of Joe Biden. Be sure to subscribe to Jeremy's podcast, and it has it there. And I'll leave a link to this video in the description of mine. If you're fed up with legacy media, join the Daily Wire for a limited time only. Now, he even talks about other alternatives to the legacy media, excluding the Daily Wire. Dump the legacy media and get the truth of the Daily Wire. You won't regret it. He mentions Blaze TV and many other things, but that is part of what I'm showing this, is because of the fact that he explains in detail, and whoever wrote this, whoever was the one that put this together word by word, is an incredibly good writer. And Jeremy hits it nail on the head. Granted, it's about 16 minutes long. Some of it's promoting the Daily Wire, which is fine. It's his channel, and, they're in business, and there's no problem with that. And he even said, I know it's a little self-serving, but what he's saying is absolutely correct. He goes into detail what happens and what happened in the last 4 years. Now I'll say up front, I get zero, I repeat, zero money from a Daily Wire or anything they own for promoting this. I just thought, when I've watched it 3 times now, all the way through, I just thought this was incredibly written. Absolutely incredibly written. And you can tell with the passion that Jeremy has. He knows it's true. Times they are changing. Remember the old song? Well, times are changing. Every generation or two, things flip out. Just flip. We went from the late 1800s to early 1900s with automobiles and all kinds of medical advances through the 1920s and 30s with radio and then television. And then we went on and on and on with technology, and then the internet started, and now we have this now, and social media, and it's accelerating at a tremendous pace. And cable companies, and he's going to explain how, even if you don't watch CNN, MSNBC, or any of the legacy media companies, you're still giving them money, believe it or not. And he explains that as well. I don't know if people were aware of that. But he goes into detail. As a cable subscriber, you are giving them money, and he talks about that. Is he promoting his own business? Absolutely. Absolutely. But what he's saying is not untrue. The legacy media is on the edge of collapse. That's why they lashed out in the last 4 years with Donald Trump. Like a wounded wild animal, cornered, lashing out because they know it's coming up to the end. They are making tons of money just on clicks. They're not a news organization anymore. Now, I run a small business in upstate New York. I am not begrudging anybody. Make as much money as you can. God bless you. God bless you. I hope you succeed If you start a business or have one now, or even a big media company, I hope you make more money than you ever anticipated, ever. Have no problem with people making money. This is the place to do it, this country. That's why it's so great. You can start off with one or two guys. Look at Bill Gates. Look at Steve Jobs. The list goes on and on and on. Founder of Facebook, Twitter. Even though I consider them Silicon Valley monsters now, that's not the point. You can be incredibly successful. So I'm not against big companies making money. But what they're doing is wrong. And it's short-term gain for money rather than long-term gain. And the harm they're doing, not just to the country, but to themselves. The media is imploding. They think they've won by Donald Trump not getting reelected if it works out that way. And at the time of this recording, it looks like about a 90% chance that former Vice President Joe Biden will be sworn in as the next president, the 46th president. But that's not the point. What are they going to do now? They've shot all their ammunition. They've ate their seed corn. Farmers know what that means. And the times they are changing with the internet. Things like the Daily Wire. I know Tim Pool is talking about putting together a news agency where they put out reporters and do interviews and do investigations. And they're starting to sprout up all over. In the next 5 to 10 years, they're going to be everywhere online. People are going to be cutting the cable wire. They're not going to be watching the mainstream media. Some people call it the lamestream media. I'll tell you the truth, honestly, myself, of regular television, with a cable box, I doubt if I've watched 10 hours in the last year. I don't know why I haven't turned in the damn box yet, but I keep forgetting, but I'm eventually going to do it. Things are changing. And this is one of those changes. But instead of these legacy media companies slowly changing with the times, they've kicked and screamed and fought the entire way in order to make as much money as they can quickly before they die. But instead of adjusting to the times and being real news reporters that would make a tremendous amount of money, they decided to go this route, and it's going to be their doom even faster. I consider the legacy media right now the dinosaurs on Earth. And the weather is fine, or they think it's fine, and there's plenty to eat, and there's oxygen, and everything is great. And they are the king of the world. They are the biggest and most successful life form on the planet. But they don't see what's coming. The asteroid is coming. The asteroid is coming quicker and quicker. And every day that goes by, it gets closer. We all know when the asteroid hit, what happened to the dinosaurs. They have no idea what's coming. And not only do they have no idea what's coming, by their actions they're doing now, they're accelerating the rate that they become extinct. Who knows what's going to be like in 10 years? 20 years ago, nobody could have predicted that people getting the information that my understanding is 40 people in the United States get their news off of Facebook. I find that incredible. I don't know if it's good or bad. I really don't. But here's the difference, though. You get to pick and choose what media you listen to. Now, does that mean everybody's going to be in a bubble and only going to hear what they want to hear? Yeah, sometimes. But you get that with regular television as well. But there's so many different opinions, so many different news outlets starting to be created now. You have to be selective in what you watch. And sometimes it's like trying to get a drink out of a fire hose that it's just coming too fast. You got to pick and choose who you believe are doing the best job. Not necessarily who you agree with 99.9% of the time, but the ones that are doing the best job at covering the facts. Those are the people you have to stick with. And as these new companies come up, you check them out. Maybe like the Daily Wire, maybe like Blaze TV, and there's other ones like that, Fox Nation for the conservative people. And I'm sure there's some for, I'll even call them liberals because I have no problem with liberals. It's the progressives and leftists I have zero use for. Find your little niche, find what you think or you feel comfortable with, and pick that media outlet or outlets. There's multiple ones. But the legacy media is dying. The asteroid is coming. They just don't know it yet. But I'll finish with this. This is one of the most incredibly written and given examples of what happened in the last 4 years concerning President Trump that I've ever heard. Ever. And even if you hate his guts, and there's many that do, doesn't change this fact. The world is not flat. The world is round. That's a fact. And your opinion doesn't matter. And as his partner and boss, Ben Shapiro, says, facts don't care about your feelings. But what he's saying is absolutely accurate, right to the very word. Listen to him. You don't have to subscribe to the Daily Wire, even though that's his company, and that's legit. But just listen to what he's saying and let it sink in. And then make your decisions from there. Well, folks, that's my opinion. Please listen to Jeremy. Listen to what he has to say. I think it'll clear your mind and make your decision for what you're going to do as far as people who to vote for in the future. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump. This is a symptom of the sickness. And until next time, folks, goodbye and good luck.